The United States is aging, and New Hampshire is one of the oldest states in the country. According to the AARP, 11 states, including New Hampshire, have a 65 and older population that outnumbers 18 and younger. Over the next few weeks, we're taking a look at the challenges the older population is facing and what can be done to live a fulfilling life in the later years. Joining us live now is the State Director of AARP New Hampshire, Christina Fitzpatrick. So, Christina, thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
We want to get right into the questions here. What do you think is the biggest challenge facing older adults in our state?
We know that almost everyone wants to live independently at home as they age, and they need a few different things to be able to do that. One is they need ways to stay connected with people. Another is that they need to be able to stay safe in their homes. And the third is that they need to be able to get the help in the home as their needs develop.
And you talk about connection, and part of that is being able to get where they want to go. And we know transportation can be a struggle for families when it comes to older loved ones. So what can families do for those who may not be willing to give up their ability to drive, and what alternatives should they consider?
It's definitely a challenging situation because when people aren't able to drive anymore, it's a huge amount of independence that they're losing. So it's important to recognize that, sympathize with that, and see what can be done to help them stay connected. And technology can help with that, but it's not the full solution. People need access to high-speed internet, but they also need to be able to have a device. They need a device, and they need to know how to use it. So that can help them maybe minimize the number of trips to the doctor that they're making if they can do some of that online, and it can also help them stay connected to family and friends, in addition to whatever families can set up in terms of transportation.
Yeah, and staying connected, as you said, that piece is so important. How can families make sure to support their older family members in staying connected and avoiding isolation?
There are a lot of different ways that people can feel like they have purpose and stay connected to people. So volunteer opportunities are a big one. There are lots of different ways that you can be involved in the community. And so it can be important to help your loved one figure out what some of those are that work into their schedule. It's important to stay, to nurture interests. And a lot of times if you are interested in genealogy, for example, and there's a place that you can go in the library to meet people who share those interests, that's another way to do it as well.
So important to find those groups, those people with similar interests, and try to find a way to get there. I also want to ask you, on the flip side, for caregivers, for people who are caregivers for an elderly family member, what support options are there for them to make sure that they, as the caregiver, don't get overwhelmed?
There are 168,000 family caregivers in the state, and they're providing $2.8 billion worth of care every year. And just by those numbers alone, you can tell that this is a challenging job. As you said, it takes a financial toll as people pay for different things and might have to cut back their time in the workforce. It's just really a big emotional weight as you're watching someone you love perhaps decline, and it is also physically exhausting. So the state offers a lot of different resources, and different organizations in the private sector. So you have Easter Seals, AARP, we provide a lot of resources, and there are support groups out there. And there are online support groups, in-person support groups. There are a lot of resources out there when you start looking.
Some great resources and great advice there. Christina Fitzpatrick, State Director of the New Hampshire AARP. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.